It's time for another episode of Local Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. Election time is over, and now we get things back to normal as we hopefully things calm down online. Haven't seen a lot of craziness in the smaller communities, but you get into the larger ones, and it just kind of gets nasty out there online, and not my cup of tea, really. I just don't care for that kind of thing. So I thought, what could we do to improve things and improve people's moods? Well, how about getting a drink? And today we're going to talk with Quincy Hunt. Quincy is the owner of Mezzo Bar in Malvern. Community of Malvern has some really cool things going on and some cool spots, and Mezzo Bar is one of them. So that conversation with Quincy is coming up today on Local Roots. Unique Boutique Iowa in Neola is inviting style seekers to a special upcoming event, a color analysis with coaching by Robbie. First, at Floral Elegance in Harlan. It is going on this Friday from 9 to 1. And then on Saturday, November 15th from 10 to 1, that same color analysis experience will be taking place in-store at Unique Boutique Iowa. That's at 101 4th Street in Neola. Each session includes a 15-minute professional color consultation, a personal digital color palette, exclusive coupons, snacks, and even some bubbly. Reservations are required at shopubiowa.com. Unique Boutique Iowa. Discover your colors and elevate your style. And don't forget to support local. Castle & Associates of American Family Insurance is your local insurance provider for all of your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs with 4 convenient locations. They're in Trainer, also with offices in Council Bluffs, Bellevue, and Elkhorn. They're local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team will educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. Give them a call for your free quote. Let's make a trip down to Malvern and learn a little bit more about Mezzo Bar with Quincy Hunt. Good to see you, sir. I'm glad that we were able to make connection, and I'm also glad that I'm looking at what I'm looking at behind you right now. And that's one of the coolest shots that we've had on the show. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you for it also. I try and have a nice varied selection.
It looks like you do have a varied selection. So what's your wheelhouse there? Is it bourbon? Is it different whiskeys? Is it other spirits? What is it that you do?
I consider myself a bourbon and cocktail bar, so I definitely lean into the bourbon. I have usually 35, 45 different bourbons, and then a handful of scotches, ryes, whiskeys, and then, I also do the cocktails. And that's, quite honestly, almost as popular also. I lean into the bourbon, but I can do most every cocktail. I've got a full bar back here, as long as we're not trying to get into green chartreuse that's $150 because the monks don't want to, they want to focus on being, religious instead of making their alcohol. Outside of stuff like that, I can pretty much do every classic cocktail also.
Are you like everywhere else in this part of the world where the old fashioned is just kind of like where the bar is set, and how good of one of those can you do?
That is definitely my number one. I really like it. I use a bottle and bond, and I make my own demerara syrup, and it has a little different, earthier, heartier sugar, not a sweet, it's not like you walk into some bar and they drop a white sugar packet into it or anything like
right.
that.
Yeah,
orange peels. I do it well.
The orange peel, there's an art to that. I've been working on a recipe. My girlfriend and I work on one, and I'm getting better at getting the peel off the orange, but I'm not going to be at a level like you that you're doing this all the time. So because there is getting that depth right and everything else, there's something to it.
There is, and learning, what is it? It's turn the fruit, not the peeler, because you take a good chunk out a couple of times, you learn that does work a lot better.
Oh, I never even thought about that. That is definitely interesting. The variety that you have there, is this your brainchild? Is it suggestions from customers coming in? How did all that come together?
It's really been a voyage. This is very much what I had in mind overall, but I've done some tweaks. When I first opened, I was thinking more heavier on the cocktail side, and I just kind of kept going down that rabbit hole of different bourbons, and really had a very good response to it. So I've really kind of leaned into that. But I do a lot of seasonal menus that I always have a handful of different cocktails. Like right now, I have a lot of the fall stuff with like apple or pear or cinnamon or maple syrup. I figure everybody has enough pumpkin from Starbucks or wherever they get their coffee. They've got plenty of that. But I really pride myself on, I do a lot of, YouTube searches. And I have some experience before this in Glenwood at Paray. I learned a lot from them. And I have just gone out and looked around. And once you find something that sounds good, you give it a shot. And, maybe tweak it here and there if you want to focus more on this juice or that, liqueur. But, imitation is the best flattery.
As you are getting into different varieties of bourbon, how different is one from the other? Is it have your palate gotten to the point now to where it's night and day?
Yes and no. It really depends on where you go. If you're doing a high, not even high end. I'm not talking like the $500 bottles or anything like that. Just in the $50 to $150 range. I really rarely run across one that's just off. Whether it's a bottle and bond or a higher proof or something that's finished in like a sherry or a rum or any kind of other cask aging. Yeah, there's different finishing notes. There's different bite. It hits you here, hits you there. So there's definitely variations, but it's all got relatively the same parts and pieces. So that's why it's bourbon. there's rules to what they have to do. So there is definitely variation, but you know what you're getting most times.
How has the response been from Malvern and the area since you've opened? I mean, what type of feedback have you been hearing?
Regular base, my regulars. I do a lot of business off the Wabash Trace that comes through town. I have a summer concert series literally 3 feet outside off of my back patio that's put on by the town. That's mid-June through August, early August. Great bands. So I couldn't be happier with where I'm at. I love my location. And I'm just looking at reaching out a little bit more and letting people know that, hey, there is something not like everything else. If you want a good bourbon, you want a good drink, there is an option out there. And I'm very laid back. I usually am closed by midnight. It just makes everybody's life a little bit easier a lot of times.
Well, that's life in a small town, but at the same time, it's and you're going to have a better view on this than I will because you're there all the time. Mm-hmm. Malvern seems to really be establishing itself as a community, as a place that supports the arts, supports the small business such as you're doing, and wanting to, lack of a better way of putting, raise the bar a little bit.
We are very lucky. We have a great core of active people. Our town, I have a lot of larger towns say, why don't we have this? Malvern has it. And it's because we just go do it. We have a bank that really backs us. We have a core that just goes and does it. We're just opened up our 3rd studio. I've got a restaurant on either side of me that's top notch. We've got a spa salon right across the way. The art church has bed and breakfast as well. There's amazing music, including this Thursday. And there's just a ton of different stuff that people just get on board with. There's a huge building, block and a half for me, that's being rebuilt. I mean, literally floor to the ceiling. And there's going to be a few different businesses in there, as well as a bakery and a coffee shop. And redoing the existing businesses in it, and it's about half a city block building. So it's going to be great to save it, because it was getting to the point that there were concerns, but the city, the bank, and some investors got it done.
It also takes, it takes community leaders, it takes residents, it takes business owners that have that forward thinking about that see what the potential of something can be. And even though this is where you're at now, it can still get better. And like you just talked about, that there's improvements happening right now. People have heard me talk about on the show before that the area in Northwest Iowa where I grew up is it's disintegrating. It's, everybody's left. And that was because there was a hard stop put in a long time ago that, hey, we don't want things to change. We don't want anything coming. We don't want to see progress. We like the quiet. Well, that's a death sentence. And but Malvern is a wonderful example, I think, of how all of this can work. And it has created an opportunity for you to put something really robust. I mean, let's not kid around here. That what you have on that back wall is not like you just dropped $150 check someplace. That's a serious investment that you have put into the community.
If that shelf went down, I would crawl up into a fetal position and cry. Yes. But yeah, this is actually my second go around. I had a landscaping water feature business on Main Street here. And honestly, I didn't think I'd be back, but this town just keeps changing and growing and makes you willing to take that chance.
So having an opportunity now to talk with some folks outside of Malvern, what would you tell them to invite them to come over to Mezzo Bar?
Basically, what I would say is, if you're looking for something different, if you want to be able to go out, have a great drink, not have the drama, enjoy your evening. We've got some games. I have live music on the third Thursdays. I have a lot of different specials and got guided tastings, and just wanting to help teach, just because you can't go into the backstory of the distillery and be able to rip off all of this trivia. Here's a good way to find out what you like without having to go out and buy a $50, $100 bottle. We have 1 ounce pours. You get 4 of them. And I can kind of guide you through different flavors, figure out where you want to be. And also, we've got great food. We've got great entertainment. There's another great bar just down the street that opened up about a year ago, golf simulators, everything, high-end stuff. And it's just an experience. We have multiple bed and breakfasts. You can make it a weekend trip. We're just really trying to welcome in everybody, especially along the Wabash Trace during cycling months also.
You hit on something that I won't say it's unique to Southwest Iowa, but is definitely a strength. And that is this belief that we are all supporting each other. And one business, and what's good for one business often is good for many at the same time. And you can start to see that growth across the board. You're talking about another bar that's down the street. That's not a competitor. That is somebody that complements what it is that you're doing. And that's what I really love about this region of the country.
Yeah. And I had a lot of people come and say, oh, can Malvern survive? Can you survive with 2 bars in Malvern? It's like, we have crossover, but we have different target clientele. And if you want to come in here and you're not done at 11:30 midnight, there's a great option down the street. They've got the golf Teed Up Tavern. They've got the golf simulators. They've got, a pretty darn good selection of beers on their own. And I love that they're here. It brings new people to me also. And I hope I bring some new ones to them.
What kind of options do you have for those that aren't the bourbon and Scotch drinkers? What other things do you, because I can actually see some of them. So
I've got, roughly a dozen different vodkas, dozen different rums, dozen different, all the main liquors and quite a few different liqueurs over here also. So I can do about any kind of cocktail. I do have mocktails and some NAs for people that are not into that world.
Mhm.
I focus more so on local brews. Of course, down the street or down the road, Keg Creek in Glenwood, I have a lot of their stuff. And then Confluence up in Des Moines, which someone needs to correct me or tell me the full story, but one of their, either the founder or one of the co-founders is from Imogene. And one of their beers, their red, is a Imogene Red. So I try and carry quite a bit of their stuff. And then I have some standards from, Anheuser-Busch family and, a handful of IPAs. I try and keep a varied selection, like Oktoberfests. I got a bourbon barrel aged stout called Dragon's Milk on tap right now. I do a lot of like polliners for some German beers. So I have a good variety on that, local brews, and then a handful of the normals also.
What I'm hearing from you here, Quincy, is that by coming to Mezzo Bar, it's an experience, and that's
my thing.
it's to get a full evening of entertainment, and you're going to be trying some different things. You have some options for some different things, and just kind of expand your palate, if you will.
That is very well put. I just want to have a different experience. I think there's a call for not just, let's go get drunk. I might have had a little bit of that phase in college, but I just want to be able to hang out. So many times I have people come in, it's like, oh, we can have a conversation. And I am a little OCD on the music. I don't have touch tunes. I like the fact that I can put a nice vibe on and not have to worry whether the next song is Willie Nelson or death metal or Britney Spears. It sets the mood for the place. And I'm also a little OCD about it too.
Understand completely. I have a thing about audio. There are some places I can't go into. It's too much.
Uh-huh.
It's the noise is too harsh, and just the way that it bounces off the ceilings in different places. I struggle in those kind of. So when it's a comfortable setting, and like you were talking about with that, yeah, that's right in my wheelhouse. And I'm impressed with everything that you're doing so far here. This is a really cool space. I think it's a great addition, not just to Malvern, but also to Southwest Iowa. So I would encourage folks, let's get out. It's a short drive. It's not far to Malvern from the metro, and and you can take a look and enjoy an evening, grab a bite to eat, stop over at Mezzo Bar and have a drink afterwards. And what a great experience. That's what we're all about.
Well, thank you.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being a part of this today, and for handling everything and getting such a cool backdrop. It looks very, very, very great, and we're looking forward to talking to you again.
Sounds great to me.
I've talked about it before that I used to just not like the taste of any kind of whiskey at all. It kind of turned my stomach. But the theory is that, around COVID time, when I caught COVID, maybe it changed my taste buds. And yeah, I can appreciate it now. And I'm looking forward to getting down to Mezzo Bar in Malvern and sitting down and having a face-to-face with Quincy, as opposed to just doing the two-dimensional version like we did here on the show. Also, if you have a leak, a clogged drain, or if you're planning a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing. They're located in Council Bluffs, and they have you covered with fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. Take a lot of pride in getting that job done right the first time. So residential or commercial, big or small, when plumbing problems strike, call Waldstein Plumbing. Visit waldsteinplumbing.com for a free estimate. And Blake Hunter, your trusted realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, is here to help if you're looking to buy or sell your home. Blake knows the local market and is dedicated to helping you find the perfect place to call home. He also hosts a popular podcast called Hunting Home, where he shares insights, tips, and the latest trends in real estate. We're going to get Blake back on the show again very soon to give us an update on what the latest is in real estate as we're heading now into late fall and winter being just around the corner. Oh, man, did I just say that? but it's coming. We can't stop it. And that has an effect on the real estate market. So we'll check with Blake about that. In the meantime, visit his website, blakehunter.homes, and start hunting for your dream home with confidence. Thank you again, Quincy Hunt, for joining us today on the show. And also, always looking for more ideas and folks to talk to. So if you have an idea of someone that you would like to see featured here on Local Roots, send me an email, toddstuder@gmail.com. My name is Todd Studer, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.